What's up, family? I just decided to go live. I don't really know how many people I'm gonna get in here. I don't want to be on here too long, but I'm just trying to get more familiarized and tap in with the family, a little bit more. So, lives is the good way to do that. So I chose to go live. I got a few little topics we're gonna be hitting on and touching on today, and the first I'm gonna jump right into it. And the first topic I want to talk about is I don't know if any of the family has heard, but there was a 14-year-old brother out there in Bardego high school and it's somewhere in California, and he was being harassed by Latino students. And this was an ongoing, of him being, this was an ongoing process of him being harassed, in a racialized manner by Latino students. And from what I gather, this Vardega Hills High School, if I'm pronouncing it right, it's majority, it got a little minute fraction of black people that go to that school, which means the majority of the people in that school is like white and Latinos, I believe. But the young brother was being harassed, and him and his mom made several complaints to the school. The school did nothing about it. Typical, nonsense that they do, especially when it comes to foundational Black Americans. They turned a blind eye to this nonsense, of him being called the word nigga with the hard ER, and they gave these students a pass. So one particular day, the two Latino students, they jumped the brother, and they even had a knife, and the young brother evidently must have stabbed one of them or both of them, and they put charges on this young brother. He's been arrested for assault and attack with a deadly weapon. And now his lawyers is working to get this case thrown out, and bring justice about on these other kids, because these other kids, Latino, they were anti-Black Latinos, displaying their racist anti-Black views, targeting the brother, singling him out. And only when you Black do you end up, the victim end up getting charged with a damn crime. If you ask me, the brother was just defending himself. And when you do stupid things, you get stupid results. So in all actuality, them two Latino boys, they be all right. They got what they had coming to them for attacking our young brother like that. You know what I mean? And hopefully that young brother can get off the hook and clear to these bogus charges. They were attacking him. And this is why we need that Black hate crimes bill too, because a lot of anti-FBA hate is now coming our way, and we need to be insulated from this. And a Black hate crime will be the only thing that will produce justice for us. But they drag their feet with everything under the sun when it comes to Black people. But hopefully that young brother pulls through this and makes it out unscathed. But moving right along, what did I want to touch on? Did anybody see that that bombing in front of the Trump Plaza? I think and it's kind of like linked to that terror attack down there. They both was terror attacks, but they ain't putting it out like that in the news. And they got a lot of correlations, the two of them, because they say that the two individuals, the one from New Orleans that rammed his truck through all of those folks, and a couple FBA folks even died. A brother, they had him out there, he died, from this nonsense. And I think it was a few other Black people that died in all actuality from that nonsense. They saying that they got correlations between the two because they both rented their vehicles off the same site. This truck renting app, I forget the name of it. They both rented their vehicles off of that site, and they both were active in the army. You know what I mean? And they're trying to say that this could be like some kind of thing with ISIS on the one. I don't know if the guy was Arab, but I know he ain't foundational Black American. I don't know what he was, but he was a melanated dude. But they're trying to say that he may have had some ties with ISIS, this, that, or the other. I really don't know. I can't speak to that, but he was Islam, and they said he had a flag on the back of the truck, rolling around with some kind of ISIS flag on the back of the truck. If you ask me, it's just, I don't know, it's just too neatly packaged, as, to give it to us, here's what it is, and, accept it as that. I don't know if more hands is behind the scenes, playing a part in this, but I do know for sure that this will put a bullseye on the backs of Muslims, because all Muslims ain't bad people. And some people in their ignorance, they are labeled, all immigrants. I mean, not immigrants, but all Muslims as being, radicalized, so this will put a negative stigma out there on Islam. And we just got to watch and see, how this thing turns out. But I do believe that it's a little bit too much coincidences with this story. Maybe they could be related, maybe it could be something, maybe, it could be nothing, but I believe that there could be some goodwill could be some hands behind this, some unseen hands behind the scenes. CC, we need that Black hate crimes bill. like yesterday, and we need reparations like today. Facts, CC. Yeah, that's facts right there. But yeah, we I don't know if there could be any correlation between these two, attacks, but it's certainly, we can't be so naive to think that it can't be, these two things be all tied together. Then I seen a white guy, I believe it was down there in Virginia, he got caught with a big amount of explosives in his house. And how the hell did this kind of nonsense go undetected unless, with somebody working behind the scenes in the shadows, I don't know, but I just say to the FBA family that we got to be on guard now, especially going out around big crowds of people, know who is who and what is what, because I was always told growing up to be aware, to be alive, because it's a lot of nonsense going on out here. You know what I mean? And people, when they do want to facilitate these kinds of attacks, they want to get it when it's big groups so they could take out the largest amounts of people they can at a time. They want to do it on special days. And now I know that they said the Super Bowl is coming to New Orleans, so maybe this will affect the security at the Super Bowl. They'll tighten that up on individuals, and this might just be something to where though they could start, implementing all these kinds of crazy laws into place, because this could happen. Now they could run it under the guise of, we just had these terror attacks, but I don't think I think it could be more than meets the eye though with it, and they could be related, but they ain't putting it out as it all could be related. All these terror attacks, the guy getting found with that massive amounts of pipe bombs or whatnot he had in his house. I don't know the exact type of bombs, but evidently this crazed lunatic, he blew 3 of his finger off, trying to mess with these explosives. He got caught with the biggest shipment that the United States government ever found. FBA ammo. Now, FBA don't really run and flee to Africa. Oh yeah, I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later. That's something that we're going to talk about. They're running it under the guise of FBA. Black Americans going home, but we'll talk about that later on in the broadcast. So moving right along. Anybody seen that Florida wants to restrict this access? They are doing this, I believe. They're implementing this. The state of Florida under Governor Ron DeSantis, they're implementing where they want to restrict internet access to people under 14. Not internet access, but social media access. And I don't know. I think that could be a good thing, because the internet now is, kids nowadays, if you ask me, they're too much programmed off the internet. Now, I don't rock with the Republican Party neither, but the things in which, the Democrats, they want to push all these kind of weird agendas to the kids to get them to question their sexual identity. I don't rock with either party. But the one thing I respect about the Republican side is that they want to limit this, limit kids' exposure to things that they should normally only have exposure to as being an adult, and then they get to make decisions for themselves. So I rock with them in that part, kind of what they doing with this thing, restricting the internet, because the kids got too much access to the internet nowadays. And what this is doing is, making our kids feminized. And, kids nowadays, they don't even know how to interact. Their only interaction they come with other people is through this internet. So when they get out here in society, they don't even know how to talk to people no more. This is why you see people needing so much coaching and things, how to talk to women, because society's breeding, like, truth be told, cowards nowadays. People that's so passive that don't even know how to hold a regular conversation with one another when they come face to face in contact with one another. They so used to being behind a computer screen. So I got the audio and the video of what they doing down there in Florida, and we're gonna walk through and talk about it. I'm gonna pull the news segment up, family, just a sec. But I think this could be a good thing, kids getting off the internet and actually getting back to being kids, being able to play. When I was growing up, we played, ran around in the community. We knew each other, and it was a tight-knit community. And that could bring that closeness back, especially in the Black community, of us getting out there, with our own and protecting the community. I'm not going to say that's the only thing, but, it exposes kids to be outside more instead of being on these laptops and devices, gaming now. We had games when I was growing up, but that wasn't our only source of entertainment. We also got out there and played in the community and ran around. Hold on, family. I'm going to turn this down because I know a commercial is going to play. Fair use.
On New Year's Day, including a controversial measure that kicks children under the age of 14 off of social media. NBC6 reporter Sophia Hernandez explains what this means for your family. In 2024, the use of social media among children was a hot-button topic, so much so that the governor passed a new law effective January 1st that bans children under the age of 14 from having a social media account.
The internet's a big world, and you wouldn't let your kids leave the neighborhood without your permission, so why would you let them have an open access to the internet like that?
Some parents praising kicking.
Now, I think this could be a good thing because a lot of kids nowadays, they got too much access to the internet and they being exposed to things on this internet that, you know what I mean? Truth be told that they should be of an older age, you know, mainly 18 to see, because to the young mind, the untrained mind, there's a lot of programming and conditioning that goes on social media. So, you know, I believe this could be a good thing. You know, that's my stance on it.
Kids off social media, others not sure it will do what it intended.
They're so tech savvy nowadays and they're younger that I think they'll find a way around it. So I'm not sure how enforceable it is or how much Meta itself or big companies as such will do about it.
The ban, which Governor Ron DeSantis...
And like she said, they probably will find a way around it because kids, in all actuality, I know that's the way when I was growing up. If you really want to do something bad enough, you're going to do it anyway. You know what I mean? But just having these measures in place, I think that's a good sign to me. But let's continue.
Signed into law in March prohibits children in Florida under the age of 14 from joining social media. Those 14 or 15 will have to get parents' consent before joining the platform, and social media companies will be directed to delete existing accounts of those under the age threshold. It's something Carolina Pareja, a mother of 4, believes will be difficult to enforce and monitor. I tried creating a profile for a sports page for my son, and
yeah, but that's enough of that, family. To me, that could be a good thing, but you know, everybody got their own opinions and views on things. But I think restricting the kids' access to social media is a good thing, because what that does is get their creative juices flowing. They want to, you know, maybe get out there in the community, play around, you know, socialize, meet friends, you know. And I know nowadays we got to, you know, with letting our kids run around in the community, we have to keep an extra guard out because, you know, it's an influx of crazies running around. So, you know, I do know that aspect of it, but I feel it could be a good thing in all actuality. But let's move right along. I got some young brothers out here, you know, pushing, you know, to get their own businesses. And, you know, I want to put a spotlight on them because usually when I do my broadcast, I like to, you know, put Black businesses up and show Black businesses, because we got to start, you know, doing more Black businesses and, you know, starting our own thing, because in all actuality, this is how we survive as any group of people. You know, foundational Black Americans, you know, we must start, you know, doing business with our own, supporting our own, because you'll perish if you don't, you know, support your own and, you know, start producing things for your own community. So I got these young brothers getting started early on in the game, you know, doing their things on the business level. We're going to walk through and talk about it. I just want to shine some light on these brothers, though, doing their things on the business tip. Here we go. Fair use.
High schoolers in Garfield Heights who started a business to clean up their community and help people manage their trash bins.
So they call themselves the Trash Boys. They are brothers, a brother duo here. And a few weeks ago, I introduced you to them. And since my original report, their business has picked up steam, and they also got a top honor from local leaders. Yep. Hauling full, stinky garbage bins to the curb and back isn't everyone's cup of tea.
We like that it's simple, it's easy, and it doesn't take a lot of work.
Andre Willis and his brother Dravian Arrington making it their business, the Trash Boys. Offering curb assistance.
And salute to these young brothers. They're doing something positive and constructive with their time, you know, building a business, something that'll leave a legacy when they get older for their children to come. You know what I mean? I salute this, you know. They staying out of trouble. They staying out of the way. And although it might be picking up trash, this is still, you know, salutable and commendable, you know, because this is a great thing. These brothers is going out here, you know, staying out of trouble, you know, and working to build themselves up. I think it's important, though, parents, you know, I don't got no kids personally, but I think it's good that parents, you know, if I did have kids, I would be dropping these gems on them at a young age to, you know, get your own, do for self, because in all actuality, if all you doing is working for people, that's good, you know, that you got a job and you're able to provide. But if all you're doing is working for people, what happens one day when you might get too old and you can't get out here and work no more for people? You need something in place where you still generating money, you know, even if you ain't out here able to get out here and physically labor for the money. And this is what doing a business affords you the ability to be able to do produce for yourself. You can get other people to do it. Once you don't want to do it no more, you just hire in and bring in other people. So I salute these young brothers on, moving and shaking out here and getting a business started.
Trash can cleaning, junk removal, and oh yeah, they also pick up litter wherever they see it. After introducing you to the team 3 weeks ago, I promised to follow through with updates. Financial and other donations have come too. Plus, they've been able to connect with local business leaders and educators.
They were giving us tips on how to keep the business going and just how to be successful. And just guiding us, basically.
See, I love this. And the community is getting behind and supporting these young brothers, funding them, giving them knowledge on the game. And that's how we got to start looking at things, in the foundational Black American community. We got to start, dropping knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, even if they ain't, physically our kids, even if we didn't produce them. In all actuality, we a village. So we got to start, dropping game on people, even if they ain't our own biological kids. Don't mean we can't lace them up with some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
But a big surprise came during Monday's Garfield Heights City Council meeting.
Your dedication to enhancing the cleanliness and
where members passed a special resolution wherever they see it. After introducing you to the team 3 weeks ago, I promised to follow through with updates. Financial and other donations have come too. Plus, they've been able to connect with local business leaders and educators.
They were giving us tips on how to keep the business going and just how to be successful. And just guiding us, basically.
But a big surprise came during Monday's Garfield Heights City Council meeting.
Your dedication to enhancing the cleanliness and
where members passed a special resolution and the mayor presented Andre Andravian its Resident Recognition Award.
And for making Garfield Heights
visiting 2 high schoolers in Garfield Heights starting a business to clean up their community and help.
It's a cleaner, more welcoming place for everyone. Well, Damon, when you came out with your story, I had a lot of people actually send me a link to it. We want to reward the youth that are doing the good things around our city, and what they do is incredible.
It was 100% an accomplishment.
It means that, I'm in business. I'm here. So now, the business is started, I'm not going to stop.
The goal is just to be successful, doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I salute them young brothers for, starting their own business, getting out here, moving and shaking, and starting something that could leave a lasting legacy, not just for them, but for future generations to come. See, that's what we got to start, playing and thinking about the long-term effects of things, family. I think about this all the time, leaving an impression that not just going to benefit me, but benefit my future kids to come, nephews, nieces, so on and so forth, really playing as a collective. And just because, kids ain't ours don't mean we can't school them and lace them and put them up on game, when it comes to, really creating some wealth, you know what I mean? Because no group survives without having wealth and doing business with their own people, because this is a thing that we got to, start implementing more. When we see people, moving and shaking, try to align with them, do business with them first before we go outside of our circle. See, that's a concept that we ain't fully figured out yet, at doing business with our own before we take our money outside of our community. Dr. Claude Anderson talks about this a lot. Bounce your money around in your community before you let it go outside of your community. And I'm in favor of that, because this is how all them groups be getting them leg ups too. You know what I mean? They understand doing business with their own. Sure, you might have to go outside the community, but that should just be your last option. If your people ain't got it, okay, now I'm gonna seek to go outside of my community and see how I can get what I need. But moving right along. Yeah, I want to talk about our brother Robert Brooks again for just a brief moment, because that really got me burned up, that whole situation, and no charges is still put on these damn degenerate COs. So that's very telling that they unwilling to produce justice, because we as foundational Black Americans, Black people in general, we're the only people that has to beg and plead for us to get some damn, justice, be brought to us. Other groups of people don't have to ask for justice. It's just produced, you know what I mean? And I don't mean to say it that way, but in all actuality, we got to tell them we need justice, for them to produce it. This is why I say, if they ain't going to punish the people that's wrong, such as DCOs, we might have to start, bringing about a form of justice of our own, and let it be known out there, if you ain't going to produce justice, we going to produce it. Have them so in fear of, if they don't produce the justice, that we going to get out here and start moving and shaking and produce the justice for ourselves. Because if they got a fear of this, they'll get some pep in their step and go produce some damn justice. You can best believe that. So I got the audio and the video of what I want to talk about with our brother Robert Brooks, and we go walk through and talk about it, family. Just a second. Let me pull it up. Yeah, but that got me pissed. These damn racist COs are still able to move and shake like that, because if they would have been black COs, wolf packing and beating down a white man like that while he was cuffed up and unable to defend himself, them brothers would have been thrown up under the jail or given the electric chair. Fair use, fair use.
And Happy New Year. Earlier today, after much consideration, research, and review, my office decided to recuse itself from the investigation of the correction officers involved in the events preceding the death of Mr. Robert Brooks at Marcy.
Hold on, right there, family. They said they recusing themselves, so we're going to look up what recusing yourself means. I want to look that up. Recusing oneself from something. Just a second, family. Recusing oneself. A potential conflict of interest and lack of impartiality. So a potential conflict of interest, and they say a potential conflict of interest and lack of fairness and bias favoring one side over the other. So you know which side they favoring right off the bat. They favoring the white supremacist CO. They in favor of letting them get off. This is why they're recusing themselves from it, if you ask me. Because when it comes to black people, we're the only ones that gotta, tell that we need some damn justice. And, ain't nobody got to plead a case other than black people to say that they need justice for any damn thing, and it's very telling that we still ain't getting no damn justice. And like I said, if they ain't willing to produce it, we got to start, moving and shaking and make them so afraid that, they look at it as their only option is to produce justice because they know we going to get it done by any means necessary. And let's continue.
Correctional Facility in Oneida County. This decision is not one that was made lightly, but we believe this is the best course of action to protect the integrity of the investigation and to ensure accountability.
Protect the integrity, my ass. Y'all just trying to, let these damn degenerate racist white supremacist COs get away with murder, because in all actuality, that's what they doing. And they already had cases put on them before. So why the hell they ain't sitting behind bars up under a jail is beyond me.
And justice for Mr. Brooks, his family, friends,
MD Williams.
loved ones,
peace, my brother, to you
and
too.
for all New Yorkers.
Hope all the family is having a good weekend.
My office's Division of State Counsel by law represents state agencies in legal matters, including the Department of Corrections and correction officers. My Office of Special Investigation investigates matters where an officer of the law may have caused the death of a civilian. As part of our Office of Special Investigation cases,
they get these coons, sellouts, tethers, and buffers, such as this woman, to get out here just because they got a black face, this is supposed to let us drop our guards. And don't, for a second get this misconstrued just because they got a black woman out here, advocating, speaking to the situation that, this thing is all right, because she just a buffer in all actuality, to facilitate white supremacy. So in all actuality, I think what they're trying to do is let these damn degenerates get away with murder. And, if they don't want to, produce justice, I say that we got to produce it ourselves, because we got to send out a statement that this won't be tolerated and it's a no-no. MD Williams. They trying to use them as puppets. Yeah, they use them as puppets and shields, because now the days of old, white supremacy used to tell you what it was, but now the goal of white supremacy is to convince you it don't exist, or they'll use a coon, a sambo, a tether, to get out here and, push their agendas. So they ain't got to do it, because they know if a white person do it, we'll see right between the bullshit. But some of our people are rocked to sleep just because they see black skin, but black skin don't equal a black mind.
Internal conflicts checks. After obtaining video and identifying the officers involved in the incident, we conducted the standard check. 4 of the correction officers under investigation in the Robert Brooks matter are currently defendants in other matters, and are being represented by.
See, they defend us in other matters. These damn degenerate COs done had a long track record of misusing and abusing inmates, you know, and I can guarantee the inmates that was being used and abused by these damn no good officers was black.
Lawyers in the office of the Attorney General. While we are,
and maybe if they would have got them, you know, out of that position a long time and locked they degenerate behinds up, this wouldn't have happened to our brother Robert Brooks.
Confident in the firewalls set up between the Division of State Counsel and the Office of Special Investigation, even the possibility or mere appearance of a conflict could tie up a potential prosecution in lengthy legal challenges, or get a potential prosecution outright dismissed. And I will not allow justice to be delayed or denied.
You letting justice be delayed and denied right now. She on here just doing a bunch of babbling. They ain't trying to produce no justice, and they just using these shields and buffers, you know, to, you know, offset what we, you know, we got to get done, you know, because I don't think they're going to produce no justice in this case, you know, unfortunately, you know, because it's very telling that they ain't got them sitting up behind the jail right now. You know what I mean? They dragging their feet. Now I could take it back. You know, if these would have been black officers, they wouldn't have been able to wolf pack and beat down a white man like that handcuffed. You know, they would have been up under the jail or given the electric chair. You know, and this is done because it's double standards in the so-called justice system between white people and black people, racialized standards. You know, white people are held to a different justice system than black people in all actuality. They given a pass 9 times out of 10. MD Williams, we're left to our own devices when justice is concerned. Yeah, we the only group of people that got to convince other people that we need justice. We got to tell them that we need justice. Why the hell ain't it produced, you know? Because they don't give a damn about no black people needing justice. We should have been had a black hate crimes bill to protect and insulate us, you know, and this ain't going away. We got to keep speaking about us needing a black hate crime bill right along with us getting our reparations to descendants of freedmen.
And I will not allow justice to be delayed or denied because of a conflict. Earlier today, we filed papers in Onondaga County Supreme Court under County Law Section 701 to appoint Onondaga.
Damn, filing papers, lock these degenerates up, you know, produce justice. Damn, filing papers, that's the easy job, filing papers.
County District Attorney William J. Fitzpatrick as a special prosecutor in this matter. When a prosecutor is unable to take a case, County Law Section 701 allows for the appointment of a district attorney in the same judicial department. District Attorney Fitzpatrick has served Onondaga County for over 30 years. His office is well-resourced to handle this complex and large investigation, and I thank him for taking on this case. Additionally, my office's Division of State Counsel will not represent the Department of Correction and or its officers in this investigation. Again, this decision was made with the utmost respect for the integrity of this investigation, and we will ensure that
she lost me. She just plebiscite babbling. Do the right thing and produce some damn justice. And I say that if they don't produce justice, we got to seriously, like I always say, think about starting to get it for ourselves. You know, we got to make these people that, you know, so much in fear that, you know, if they don't produce justice, they know that it's going to be, you know, consequences and repercussions, you know, for them dragging their feet. You know, they got to have a fear. See, white supremacists don't do anything just off of goodwill. You know, they need a fear mechanism in place. And that fear mechanism is us looking out for and protecting our own people by any means necessary. That's the fear mechanism, you know, because it don't look like no damn justice is going to be produced, you know, and if they don't produce it, we got to produce it. And RIP again to my brother, Robert Brooks, you know, and a lot of white supremacists want to use this talking point. Well, he was in trouble. He was locked up, this, that, or the other. I don't give a damn if he was locked up. He was doing the time for the crime and still didn't, you know, deserve to be taken out senselessly like that. And he couldn't even defend himself. You know, it shows you how cowardice white supremacists are, that they got to attack a defenseless black man with his hands behind his back. The brother couldn't even defend himself. And he had mental health issues he was battling with. I seen a news segment that said he was battling with mental health issues. That shows that to the cowardice of white supremacists, because white supremacy is a cowardice system, and you got to be a degenerate to even practice it. But moving right along. RIP to my brother Robert Brooks. What did I want to talk about? Okay, we might as well get into it, family. This ain't gonna be a long broadcast. I hopefully everybody's weekend is going good. And if you tapped in with me now, make sure you like and subscribe, to the channel, because I'm gonna be putting out constant heat and attacking these issues, that's and things that are, pertinent in the FBA community, things that are going on with us, and that's related to us and, what we're going through. I'm gonna always be attacking them issues at the forefront. That's at the forefront of my message, attacking our issues and standing, 10 toes up for foundational Black American business and issues, because somebody got to do it. We need justice. We still ain't got no damn justice, and we build a nation. We build America. We got everything. America was only able to become the superpower she was based off of slave labor. If anybody does work for free, that company's going to get rich as hell. The company's going to thrive, because it ain't paying its workers. This is the same way what the United States done with us. We built the whole damn infrastructure and never got, compensated for the injustices and oppression that was done to our ancestors. You know what I mean? So this is why we move and shake the way we do on the grassroots to, make sure that our people have proper representation, because on the mainstream media, our people don't even have right representation. Every time they show a Black person, in these movies, you see them being in subservient roles. And this is why I wanted to make my message, to counteract some of that nonsense. They have them in subservient roles or show Black people in a position of slavery, this, that, or the other. They don't show them Black brothers and sisters that was rising to the occasion, that was, facilitating them slave rebellions and stuff like that, because that will empower you. They don't want you to be empowered. They want you to be in a defeated state, because in the defeated state, they know you're going to lay docile and dormant. And that never been my vibration. My vibration always been to lift and raise the consciousness of my people. So, yeah, what I want to talk about. So now they saying, family, they got a new something going around. I seen it on TikTok. This is what woke me up to it. They said Black Americans is returning home. Ghana is offering dual citizenship. And, so I said, I say to it, to that, Black Americans is home. Foundational Black Americans is home. We done built up America. And why the hell are they coming out talking about returning home? To me, this is a slap in the face to the ancestors and everything that we done on American soil. We ain't some generic Africans, misplaced from home. We're foundational Black Americans. With ties to the land and the soil over here in America. We became a new ethnic group over here in America. We had an ethnogenesis and we became foundational Black Americans, but I'm going to pull up this news segment because some Black Americans are going over there. But the masses of foundational Black Americans, ain't going to go to Africa. We're going to stay right here in the United States because, we're from the United States. Our culture and everything we created was created over here on this soil. We the only reason that America is as good as she is. Everything that's good in America is good because foundational Black Americans fought to make it so. They wouldn't have stopped no slavery and oppression like that, like how they used to do if we wouldn't have fought back and gave some resistance to this oppressive system, because they thought in all actuality that they had a good thing going on with slavery and things like that. So, yeah, it's just a slap in the face, to my ancestors. And I ain't no displaced African. I'm a foundational Black American, whose ancestors fought the oppressive system over here in America, that stood on business and stood 10 toes down, so I got the audio and the video of this, what they, because some Black Americans are going over there to Africa, according to this video from what I've seen, but, they offering dual citizenship. They not dual citizenship, but some kind of citizenship they offering over here, family, and we're going to walk through and talk about it. Now, the news segment reads, and this is coming from African News, and it reads, coming home, Ghana has granted citizenship to hundreds of African Americans. So keep that in mind.
Having left the life in Florida behind, these US citizens emigrated to Ghana in 2023 and were among 524 members of the global Black diaspora to receive Ghanaian citizenship last November.
I am an African woman just because how do we identify who we are? You look at your skin, right? So I didn't need that to tell me that I'm African. Anywhere that I go in the world and someone looks at me, I'm melanated. But my ancestors who wanted to return and come back home, those ancestors who never made it back, their dying wish was to come back to their home, and they never made it.
See, she's speaking from her point of view. This ain't foundational Black Americans largely ain't going back to no damn Africa, because we realize that we're American, you know, we're American. Everything that we fought for and our ethnic group had an ethnogenesis here on American soil, and we went on to become foundational Black Americans. She's speaking from her, you know, observation. She's speaking for herself. In large part, foundational Black Americans ain't going back to no Africa. Even Africans is trying to, you know, come over here. So ain't nothing good like that going on over in Africa. Not to be disparaging, but you know, America is the place in the world that everyone wants to come to because we made it so. So me wanting to go back to some damn Ghana or something like that, that's, you know, a slap in the face to my ancestors who was moving and shaking here on American soil, who stood on business. And yeah, this ain't in large part, you know, foundational Black America don't want to return or ain't returning to no damn Ghana, you know. MD Williams, they ain't the same who set us up. They sold us out. Yeah, yup. And it's funny now that they want to talk about, you know, Black Americans going back home, you know, on the heels of us demanding reparations and the things that we fighting for now in this country. It's really convenient that they want to put this out here now. Could this be a, you know, a finesse to stop, you know, us from getting our reparations that we're owed for building up America, being enslaved in America? You know, we got to ask ourselves them questions, you know, because everything is done by design. If you ask me, in large part, foundational Black Americans, they know good and well ain't returning to no damn Africa. You know, them African nations sold us up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. You know, they the ones that, you know, was doing business with white Europeans to put us in slavery. You know what I mean? And all of us, it's a misconception. They want to rock us to sleep with all of us, you know, came over here on the transatlantic slave trade. Many Black people were already here in the Americas. You have Black traders, Black Aboriginal people already over here moving and shaking. You know what I mean? And they just lumped everybody together. And slaves did come over, you know, from Africa, and they just lumped everybody together. And this is where we had our ethnogenesis over here in America's soil. We became foundational Black Americans. Our culture is rooted here in America. We ain't rooted out of no damn Africa. She said something about her roots going to Africa. She's speaking for herself and trying to perpetuate herself on us. But let's continue.
Come back to their home, and they never made it. That passport for me is for them.
Ghana has been encouraging African Americans to reconnect to their roots with the Beyond the Return program, launched in 2019.
It just feels good to have a connection to an African country as an African American, as a Black American, right? Because
so we got a connection here to America. My ancestors come from America, you know, South Carolina, Virginia, Frederick, Maryland. So we got a connection to America. We ain't got to go back to look to no Africa for no greatness. We got a greatness and continuity here on American soil. We're American as foundational Black Americans, and the people, you know, some foundational Black Americans, they could very well want to go back to Africa, but they speak it for themselves, you know, and, you know, trying to perpetuate that on us, because the African don't even want to stay over there in Africa. They trying to get over here to America, you know. In all actuality, I would like, though, for African brothers and sisters to build themselves up, and us as foundational Black Americans, we build ourselves up where it ain't just a one-sided deal, and we start moving and shaking, you know, maybe doing business together, you know, maybe bringing about some things and, you know, facilitating some things where when we both in a better power position, we get our leg up as foundational Black Americans and, you know, do business where, you know, because I'm seeing that a lot of foundational Black Americans, they go over there and got scams ran on them, being finessed out of money, you know, land, this, that, and the other. So I like to see it where, though, them African nations are building themselves up, them brothers and sisters over there standing, fighting the injustice and oppression in their homeland, and we building ourselves up, you know, as a collective FBA unit over here, to where, though, we could do business, maybe move and shake and create some new opportunities for both of our particular groups. But I don't want the deal to be one-sided, and it just seems like a one-sided deal. Foundational Black Americans going to Africa, like you'll have to come with a bag or something like that, or, you know, we both build ourselves up and we do collective business 50-50. Now that's another story. Rhythm and Black, peace, brother. My FBA lineage is from Georgia, Mississippi, and Louisiana. 100. Yeah, they want us to be convinced that our roots tied to Africa. No, our roots ties to Virginia, Mississippi, South Carolina, Frederick, Maryland, for me, and Virginia. And my Potts family comes from South Carolina. So, yeah, we ain't got to look back to no damn Africa. That's a selective group of few that are doing that want to go over there, because it's, in all actuality, sound like a finesse to me. And it's certainly a slap in the face to our ancestors who fought to make things better. Because the one thing that one lady was saying is that, her ancestors wanted to return to Africa. That ain't what the mindset of, all of our ancestors. Our ancestors wanted their leg up, and, they wanted to make things better here. You know what I mean? Because all of our people didn't come from no damn Africa. They want to Africanize us, you know what I mean, to detach our ties to this land. And there was a lot of foundational Black Americans already on this land, moving and shaking, because, I put out a video the other day, and it was very telling what somebody said in the comments. They were like, I forget what it was on. I think it was with the whole thing, Fat Joe, where he was running his mouth on foundational Black Americans and using that nigga word with, and he shouldn't have had a pass to do so. So they were like, I was talking about the immigrant, Math Hoffa, and Joe and us being the only real true Americans. And the brother said, we were brought here in chains. And I said, that's a misnomer, because some of us were, but many foundational Black Americans were already on this, land. And he was like, well, you trying to deny Africa, I ain't no damn African. They want to Africanize us and remove us from our American, lineage over here in American soil. We had an ethnogenesis over here in America. And I don't know what's so hard for some of these people to come to the reality of that. Stop trying to make us African. We got history to this land. We the only real true Americans as foundational Black Americans. Because you got to think, our culture, our food and everything, our dance, our style and swag, that was all formulated over here in American soil. You know what I mean? Us moving and shaking, and we inspired the whole world through that. This is why America got her problems, but she's still the greatest place in the world. You got Africans coming over here from the continent. If the continent's so good, why it seems like all of the Africans is over here? Ask yourself them questions, family.
To have a connection to an African country as an African American, as a Black American, right? Because back in America, we don't have anything to trace our roots to, but Africa.
Nah, she's speaking a whole bunch of nonsense, a crock of BS. Only thing we got to trace our roots to is Africa. We got to trace our roots to right here in American soil. Our people that came from the South that rose up and fought against oppression, that was fighting for civil rights and fighting for the rights of all people. We've influenced people through our music, our musical art forms all over the world, and our innovations. A lot of our innovations was even stole, you know what I mean? And, remixed and taken by white people. But still, all in all, if it were no, think about how this world would be if there was no foundational Black Americans in it. You know what I mean? Nobody would, have a safe space, because we're the symbol of fighting for injustice and oppression the world over. When people want to look to a status, how to move and shake and stand on business and fight for, to get your rights and this, that, and the other, they look to foundational Black Americans. So, yeah, she's speaking that we ain't got no, our roots is out of Africa. That's a whole crop of BS. Let me rewind that again, because, yeah, this lady couldn't be further from the truth.
We don't have anything to trace our roots to, but Africa.
We don't got nothing to trace our roots to but Africa. This is a whole crock of BS. We could trace our roots right here on American soil. You know what I mean? And we got to look no further than, our great foundational Black American icons, our ancestors who fought and rose up, and was moving and shaking here on American soil. So this woman, is totally speaking a bunch of nonsense, if you ask me.
To have that connection here, I feel like, again, I've done something right.
Although the government emphasizes the program's function as a boost to economic relations, receiving citizenship remains important for many members of the diaspora.
This ain't important to the foundational Black Americans that they think, and they said something about it boosting economics. So this sounds like to where, though, they just trying to boost their economics off of us. It's a one-sided deal. Now, I wouldn't mind, moving and shaking with the brothers and sisters in Africa, doing some kind of business, if they building themselves up, staying in their country, getting the oppressive systems that's out of there, like the Asian, the European powers that's over there, you know, and us really coming together as foundational Black Americans and really getting our leg up and our just due, and we could come together, you know, and, you know, consolidate, put our power together and bring about some sort of businesses and things like that for the betterment of not just, you know, a one-sided deal, but for both parties, the African and the foundational Black American. I wouldn't mind that, but that just seems like a one-sided deal. And, you know, we're not some displaced Africans looking for a home. We're foundational Black Americans. And I'm proud of my FBA history and the things my ancestors fought to achieve in this country. You know what I mean? And like it or not, we're American. You know what I mean? And they want us to disregard the flag and, you know, being Americans. You know, this is what they want us to do to a certain degree as well. And I woke up to this, that, you know, we should salute the flag and things like that, because our teen sister, Grace Wisher, you know, worked on that flag, and she was enslaved from what I know, you know, and she worked on that, and we worked to bring about, you know, several things over here in America, even Memorial Day. I just learned that foundational Black Americans were the first people really, you know, pushing for Memorial Day doing that, you know. So yeah, we're Americans, and we ain't got to go back to no ancient Africa to pull on no greatness. You know, if we want greatness, we look right to our ancestors, you know, and some people might want to go, you know, go over to Africa and become citizens of Black Americans, but that ain't the large part of foundational Black American society. We stand right here in America because we at home, and, you know, we ain't downplaying our things and contributions we made to the world over here in America. You know what I mean? That's what they want us to do, downplay our Americanness and pick up some Africanness. And this just ain't the case no more. You know, like years ago, some of the brothers and sisters was on that kick, you know, of Pan-Africanism, but, you know, it's a newfound awakening happening in foundational Black American society, where we being about our Americanness and acknowledging our soil here in America, where we stood, fought, and rose up against this oppressive system. And I just wanted to bring that to the family, you know, because that was a whole crock of BS where she's saying we don't have no roots and our roots is over in Africa. She could miss me with that, you know, but I ain't want to be on here too long. Thanks to all of the family that tapped in with me. I just wanted to, you know, I'm going to start putting out these lives regularly, getting better with it, because I need to practice, you know, getting better at these lives, because I'm not, you know, all that good yet of going live. You know, I'm still getting familiarized with this process. So if the family's, you know, watching now, I want y'all to have a good weekend, and make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, because I'm gonna be putting out, you know, preloaded videos, pre-recorded videos rather, and I'm gonna keep on bringing y'all these live streams. So yeah, lock in with me, family, like and subscribe, and have a good weekend out there. Stay safe and be aware when you out there in the public, you know. Look around, look people in the eyes, you know, and just be aware of your surroundings, because to be aware is to be alive. You can't just, you know, this is how things happen, you know, with attacks on like large groups of people too, because some of the time, not all of the time, but some of the time, you know, people ain't aware, you know, when they outside moving and shaking as to just what their surroundings are. And I was always laced up with game as a kid, you know, to be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. MD Williams, your content is appreciated. Thank you, family. Rhythm and Black. Check. Peace to Rhythm and Black. You know, and peace to all of the FBA family. And I want everybody to have a safe and productive weekend, you know. Relax, you know, enjoy your family, your friends, your loved ones, and stay safe out there and be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. Peace.